And all right, I think we're live with that. Perfect. Okay, Kimberly, if you would be so kind, you can go ahead and get started. The floor is yours.
Hi everyone, I'm going to share my screen real quick. Does everyone see this? Sorry guys.
Yes.
And then we'll get started. I did not start on slide one. So today we'll be doing the purchase requisition procedures training for Banner 9. My name's Kimberly, as he introduced, and on the line with me is Linda. She's the accounting technician. She'll go over travel RQs. The topics we're going to cover today is understanding an RQ, what assignment, who the buyer assignments are, what you're going to need when you submit an RQ, and what you're going to need to send to the buyer. And then we'll do a hands-on training of the Banner 9 training and travel RQs. So the purchasing staff are Jenny Ho, she's the district director, Christine Huang, the purchasing admin, Crystal, Pamela, and Mike Rove, they're the buyers. So those are the commodity initials, CNPS and MG that you're going to be sending your, sorry guys, a little bit of background noises. They're going to be sending your RQs to, and then Danny is the purchasing assistant. We'll go. So we have a buyer assignment. I'm going to be sending you guys a handout later at the end when we finish the course. But on that handout is a list of buyer assignments. We haven't updated the most recent one yet, so I'll just cross it out because it's no longer me. You'll be sending it to. So if you look at this, these are your buyer assignments. It's by your department, campuses, what we purchase, furniture and computers and Apple purchases. Those go to, it's going to be commodity code CN now, Crystal, but everything remains the same over here. Let me share my screen again. And then purchasing requirements and purchasing limits. Anything under $10,000, you're just going to need a quote for. And anything between $10,000 to the bid threshold of $99,100 for 2022, that number does change in 2023. You're going to need 3 written quotations for. So you're going to go and you're going to look for outside 2 different vendors, including yours as 3. And then you're going to send it to your buyer. The best price one is the one you're going to submit the RQ for, but you're going to need to send all 3 quotes to your buyer. Also, anything over $99,100, you're going to need a board approval and bidding for. The only thing, the only way you can get out of getting the 3 quotes or bidding is if your quote is priced through a contract. So a lot of vendors like CDW, the GST, or you can just ask your vendor rep if they have a piggyback contract or a contract we can use that they price us at. And if with that line on the quote, we won't need to go to bidding for, but you will still need a board approval if it is over that price limit. So again, any exemptions from the bidding requirement, if there's a piggyback bid, if it's on our state list, if it's a professional service, if it's for education materials, or if it's sole source. This is if they're the only vendor that sources this product, and you're going to need extensive evidence for this, and you're going to email it to the director of purchasing, Jenny Ho, and ask her for permission and approval. Once you have that, then you can submit an RQ and ask your buyer. So there are 5 different types of RQs. There's a blanket order, there's a maintenance, non-reoccurring purchase, reimbursements, and services. So blanket orders, those are simple. You do those mainly in the beginning of the year. On the purchasing step-by-step manual, it'll have instructions for that. Maintenance, all those goes to Christine. CH, non-reoccurring purchase, that's what we'll go over today. Reimbursement, specifically travel reimbursements, is what Linda will go over. And then services. So from an RQ to a PO, It goes through many approvals and different, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
It goes through many different approvals and before it reaches the buyer inbox. So from the moment you create an RQ, you're going to have this list of approvals. So a lot of times or sometimes you'll ask for the buyer to rush that PO, but it doesn't reach our inbox till about a week or 7 days. So try to get your RQs in about a week before, maybe 2 weeks before, to give us some time if you need a PO issued before that deadline. But if it is ever an emergency and it's a last minute, you can check your list of approvals that it goes through on My Gateway and email all those approvers and the buyer to get it rushed approved into the buyer's inbox. And then once you have that, once you submit an RQ, remember to send your quote and supporting documents to your buyer so that they can issue a PO. Then we send the PO to a vendor. If it's sent via email, we're going to CC you in the email, and then AP cuts the check. So invoicing, like paying an invoice, all checks and paying the vendor, that's AP, not purchasing. So if you have a question on that, with your PO number and your RQ, you can ask AP for that. But in order to pay, you need to send them a okay to pay invoice. So what you need to create an RQ, you're going to need a few things. You're going to need a quote or a proposal. You're going to need to know the ship to information. For sales tax, it's going to have to be 7.75%. That's the Orange County tax rate. So for all quotes, sometimes they'll price it at their city or their state. If it is shipping to our district or the campuses on our district, you're going to need to ask the vendor to change the sales tax to 7.75%, unless you're picking it up in that spot. You're going to need to know your vendor ID number. If it's not set up in Banner, you're going to ask for a W-9. And then you're going to send it to your buyer to request a new vendor addition. Know your full PAL budget line. Make sure that if it's equipment over $1,000, it's really important that you know the location code and you put that in your RQ. We don't know the location code. That's something that you're going to have to ask your campus. And then if there's an invoice that you're sending for payment, you need the name of the authorized invoice signer, and you need to sign off on that. So now we'll do the RQ training. I'm going to share my other screen. Let me see if I can share my second screen. Go to this one. Actually, okay, do you guys see what I'm typing in my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so real quick, I'm going to show you where the purchasing manual is, that you can find all this information. In case you have any questions on the rules and the guidelines, you're going to go to NOCCCD.edu, departments, purchasing, information for staff on the left, purchasing manual and forms right here under that bar. Scroll down and then click here to download purchasing manual. So you'll click there and you'll see all of this. Specifically, what you're going to need is page 6 is not updated. Please refer to the one that I will send you. But requisition process from page 7, 8, and 9 is what you're, and 10 is what you're going to specifically need. And then blanket orders is 11. One thing to note for blanket orders, it can't be over $5,000 if it's for an item like purchases of computers, electronics, or goods. And each item can't be over $500. That's going to be noted in your blanket order. Oh, I don't know if you, yeah, it's on a website, so you can see it. So now we're going to log into Banner. So you're going to go to mygateway.NOCCCD.edu. And then on the left-hand side, you're going to go to Banner 9 info. And then you're going to hit Banner admin pages. And it'll lead you to this website. And and then it's going to ask you to, if you weren't signed in, enter your 8-digit Banner ID number and your password, and then it'll log you into that page. So once you get to this Banner page, you're going to type in the following code to get to the requisition. It's FPAREQN. If you want to save this, you can start right here on that right-hand side. Once you save that, on the left-hand bar, if you hit star, it'll appear over here. So once you type that in, this thing pops up at the bottom. Just click on that and it'll lead you to the requisition page. So the requisition field right here, you're going to leave blank and hit go. The RQ number, it will generate as you complete the RQ. So once you see the RQ number, remember to write that down. That is your only way to track the RQ you've been working on to see the status of that. So you hit go and it leads you to this screen. So you'll be led to this requester delivery information tab of the requisition page, and then you're going to begin by entering the delivery date in the top left. So in this delivery date, you're going to put it as the same date as the order date and transaction date, which is the day you create your RQ. The buyer will have access to change when they create your RQ. They can change their delivery date and the transaction date to match however long it's going to take to deliver. Usually we put about 4 weeks from the date we create the PO. You're going to do that, and then you're going to hit the down arrow, and you're going to have to complete the attention to field. Usually we put the college, though they have that information already, but the building number and the room number for delivery companies. If you're from Cypress College, that's really important to put the building number and the room number. Usually you put the name of whoever you're going to want to send it to if you're completing the rec for someone else, and the department or the room number of what department they're in. So for example, if I do an RQ for me, I would just put, my name, and then my room number or department. So we're 8th floor. And then you're going to put the email, your email, because you're the requester, your phone number, area code, fax, and then what's important is your ship to information. So note that this field changes based on the RQ that you're doing. It's going to be BO for blanket orders. So if you click on the 3 dots right here, it'll let you know. So you're going to put BO for blanket orders, COMP for completed invoices. So any invoice that you submit that's completed and needs payment for, you're going to put COMP. Site work for construction, Cupco work, services, that's site work. And then for all other orders, the campus you're from. So Anaheim for the district or NOCCCD, CC for Cypress College, this one, and Fullerton College is FC right here. And then one more, if it's a maintenance agreement, you're going to need to hit maintenance right here. So for this one, I'm going to put my campus, and then you're going to arrow down. One more thing that's really important is to note that when you're purchasing items over $1,000, usually computers, equipment, you need to uncheck this document level accounting line. If you have this document level accounting line under the totals on top, checked, then you're not going to be able to split the budget line or put the location code. And we need to know this so we can tag the inventory items. You need to do this before you enter vendor information. If you do it after, it may not allow you to, and you're gonna have to start over. So make sure you uncheck that in the beginning, and make sure once you uncheck that you go in and input each FOAPAL budget line separately for each item that's purchased. Real quick, if you're from Fullerton College and you're buying inventory item over $1,000, ship to is going to have to say tag, but your buyer knows that and they can fix it too. So to select a vendor, you have the 3 dots right here. So the example I'm going to use today, let me see if I can share this whole screen instead. Okay. The example I'm going to use today is this invoice that I got. This quote that I got. I'm going to use this because there's multiple line items and a discount. So I can show you guys how to add multiple items and the discount. So can everyone see my screen? You can see both the vendor and the banner RQ.
Yeah, the align quote.
Yeah, both the quote, yeah, and
Yep,
the
you see both.
vendor RQ. Okay, so you're gonna select the 3 dots in the vendor, and then you're gonna hit this, and then you're gonna put a percentage sign for the last name and then the name of the vendor. So you're gonna hit this and then add a percentage at the bottom and then hit go. And then you're gonna hit the second one right here. And then you guys can give me 1 second.
Sure.
Okay, so you're going to select the vendor right here. Again, if the vendor is not in that banner, please email your buyer and they'll insert that for you. So you're going to hit a line and then you're going to complete that and then select the vendor information and this address right here. Make sure it matches the remit to address or the vendor address that we need to pay. So if you notice on this invoice, the remit to address is this PO box number. So naturally this is gonna put the W-9 address. So if I hit the 3 lines here, there's gonna be multiple options. If it's not on here, please ask your buyer to add it. So I'll go to the next one and it's this PO box that matches this. This is what you're gonna select when you're submitting an RQ. Once you have that, you guys don't have to worry about the discount, but for tax, note that there's only 2 options you can put. You can either put no tax if there's no tax, or the tax rate that you're going to select. There's only 1 tax rate you can select. This is California and Orange County tax. This is the 7.75%. It says 0. It says 8, but it's 7.75. So just click that and then arrow down. And then we are on this commodity line. So do you guys have any questions before I keep going? Okay. So for commodity line, you're going to select who this RQ goes to. So again, it's either CN, for Crystal, Micro from Michael Grove, PS for Pamela, CH for Christine. And so today I'll put it for CN. The description line, it's going to match exactly to what your quote looks like. So you're going to start with an item number. So here it's 21145, and then the description. I usually just copy and paste if I'm able to. Please note that if it's in all caps and space, you're going to have to type it out because we don't want the description to have all spacing. And so you'll note in here that I can't fit everything into one line. You're going to complete the rest in item text. So I'll put the 5-year and then I'll finish out this line. This is going to pop up, just exit it out. Whatever the unit of measure is, this is each. The tax group, whether it's taxed or no tax, the quantity, this is 1. This is 1. The unit price of 66,000. Again, you'll note that this item is discounted. What I'm going to put in the unit price is not the price before discount. I'm going to put, oh no. Oh no. I did not write down the RQ number. Hopefully I can find it. I'm just gonna start again real quick. So again, remember to write down your RQ number because you don't, it times out and this happens.
Hi, Kim. Do you think you can explain the document level accounting again?
Yeah.
Really briefly, please.
Let's move this real quick. So document level accounting, you're going to uncheck that for 2 things. You're going to uncheck that if you have equipment over $1,000 because we need to tag those items. So any equipment purchase over $1,000, or 2, if you have multiple multiple budget lines, like if you want one item to be in this budget line and the next to be in another one. But once you uncheck that box, you're going to have to, instead of if you didn't uncheck that box, the full PAL line will be the same for all of it. So you'll only have to insert this budget line once. But if you uncheck it, you're going to have to go in and do it for each line item.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
Thank you.
No problem. So we have this again, item number. I'll write down this number. Again, item number, put in here 21145, copy and paste this to the best of the full last word. Each tax group, quantity 1, and then you're going to put the discount rates, not the full rates. So then here it's 34,140. So if it's discounted, I want you to put the discount price on the unit price. I don't want you to fill anything for discount here. You're going to put that all in the first commodity line. So again, because not everything fit in the first line, you're going to go to related item text and complete the rest in here. I'm going to arrow down. And you don't want to repeat this because it's going to show up in your requisition or PO already. You're just going to continue whatever you couldn't fit. So for example, for this one, it would be this. And then full words only. If it doesn't fit, then you're going to have to add it in the second line. So it'll look like this. And then anything like any approver's signature or any contract that you use, that's going to be inputted in the last item text. So not the first one. This is the first one, not this one, the very last. So you'll see here, there's a discount applied of $31,860. To put a discount, you're going to follow this. So put a space between the item text information and the discount, and then I'm going to put this. It's also in your manual. Discount applied, and this one, it doesn't say what it's called, so I'll just put discount applied in stars. Go down and put the original cost, which is $66,000, and then the discount applied. So this will be in the brackets because it's negative, and then the new cost. So we said the new cost of this was $34,140. So okay, so that's the new cost. I'm going to go ahead and save that and then exit out. And then now I'm ready to add the second item. Oh no. So again, like what I did, if you change the commodity code later on, you're going to have to refill the item commodity line because that's just how Banner is. It resets everything. So just make sure, I want to show you guys that but right before you submit, you check that everything is inputted and all lines are filled out. So to insert a second commodity line, you're going to hit insert right here. Okay. Actually, before we insert a commodity line, because we unchecked document level accounting, you're going to go through and put the accounting information for each one. So for this one, you're going to do the year, the index, the fund. They want to use this fund, the origin number, the account you want to use. Does anyone have an account code they want to use?
Or you can use 54101, something like that.
Yeah, or you can just select, if you don't remember yours, you can select on the 3 dots here.
Oh, okay.
And then again, if you have equipment over $1,000, please know your location code. Again, you can look it up, the 3 dots there, but there's a lot. You can filter if you know the name of it, but you don't remember right here. But if not, just ask your department. So pretend that's mine. And then you're going to go down here and put how much percentage you want paid in this accounting sequence. So I want 100% paid. I'll just hit 100% and then save as you go. So I'm saving this. So if you don't have enough budget, it'll tell you like this. But I'm not submitting this, but so I'm not going to change it. But again, if you don't know your budget or if there's insufficient funds, Banner will tell you as soon as you save. And then we're going to insert the second item here. Same thing, CN, description, item number. This one doesn't have an item number, so I'll just go ahead and put these sleeves for this description. Each tax quantity 15 at, again, unit price, not net amount, unit price. And if you note here, each item was discounted by $42. So I would put 57 each. Next tab, go to related again, related item text, put the rest of the information if you couldn't fit it. For this one, it did, but I need to put the discount. So I'll do a space right here. So you just tab all the way through, insert a line number like 1, and then put the discount. So again, discount applied, original cost. I do you can do the unit price or you can do the total, but I just did the unit price and then I put the total here like that. And then I'll do the applied, which is 42 each, or $55, or sorry, $630. And then new total, new cost, new total. 85, remember we put it here. 865. And then remember the very last item line, you're going to put the contract if there's a contract used. So space this. Between each new information, you're going to add a space line. So for here, pretend there's a contract. I'll put like NASFO, NOCCCD number here, another space, and then every PO is going to need an authorized signature for purchase. So usually that's your manager, and then a space, an authorized signature for payment. And then you're going to hit save. You're going to go down. Again, like I shared, if you uncheck document level accounting, you're going to have to input the accounting sequence all over again. So whatever account you want to use here, I do that in. And then the location number, again, any item over $1,000, you're going to need that for. And so now we're going to go into document text. Note that item text is going to match exactly like, and commodity accounting is going to match exactly like your quote. And document text, that's for the buyer and the district. So any grant information that goes into document text, vendor information that for who we're going to send it out to and who we're going to contact, that goes into document text. So right now I'll show you what we need in document text. So if you go to related, down a document text, we requested that IT input guidelines or a template for you guys, so it's very easy. If you hit the 3 buttons here, if it's a blanket order, you can select the blanket order template. If it's a regular purchase, you put regular PO for supplies, travel, site work, DIR. So this is a regular PO. I'll hit select, arrow down, and it'll tell you exactly what I'm gonna need. So I need the quote number of the date, the contact name of the vendor, the phone number, and you're gonna add one more thing. You're gonna add their email address because we email all our POs out. So again, I'm gonna space between the 2 different information, which is 51, the line between here. And then I'm gonna add another one for the email. So if I do that and I exit out, go back, you're gonna get this. So you're gonna put the quote number on the quote, which for us is P1231697. And then you're gonna put what date the quote was. So the quote that it was dated, not the quote, the date where the quote expires, but the date the quote was generated. And your contact name, usually you'll have like a rep of who you send it out here, but then on here we don't have it. So just go ahead and put your rep's contact name. So pretend like the contact name is John Doe, the phone number of of how to contact them, and then their email. So like that, and that's it. You're gonna hit save. So once you have all that information, that's all you're gonna need to complete a rec. Again, You're gonna arrow down now, and when you get all the way to the end, before you complete, you're gonna check this total right here. You're gonna check your input total, your commodity, and your accounting, and you're gonna make sure they're all balanced. If they're not balanced, you can't complete it. So I look at this total here and I check my accounting and my commodity total and they tie. If the tax rate is wrong, it will not tie. If something's off and you forgot to input a commodity line, it will not tie. So make sure before you submit the RQ that it ties to this a lot quote. If it doesn't tie the quote, we can't process your PO. So that is it. And then to check on the progress of your RQs, you can go to Banner, you can go to something called FOIDOC, FOIDOCH, hit that. You're gonna put REQ, which is requisition, or if a PO is generated, then you would put PO and then your RQ number. So I'll hit down. You'll see that there's no status description. That's because I didn't complete and I didn't submit it yet. So always double check once you submit that it's actually submitted. If it's submitted, it would say C. And then, so let me show you an example of a PO that's generated. So if I was to search up a PO that I already generated, it looked like this. So once your requisition has been made to a PO number will appear under that RQ and it'll say approved. It'll change status to approved. And if the PO is submitted, it would say approved. That means that your buyer already generated a PO. If you get a confirmation email of them sending it to a vendor, that means the PO is done and there's already been a PO sent to the vendor. That is all. I will send you guys a manual of the step-by-step process of how to process RQs specifically for each different ones. And then the PowerPoint as well. Does anyone have any questions? I can't see the screen. Okay, does anyone have any questions? Okay, if you ever have any questions, I train on the RQs still, so just give me a call or email me and I can do a step-by-step with you or try to help you with anything. If you have questions, you can also message your buyers. That is it.
Thank you, Kimberly. I really appreciate you walking through this again.
Yeah.
I have next, I have Linda Baxter, our accounting technician, who's going to help us out with travel requisitions. Linda, you can take it away, and if you need help with anything, let me know. Oh, let me unmute you. There you go.
Okay, now I'm good. Okay, so what I'm going to talk about next, it's just going to take a few minutes. It's the travel expense report. Before I get into the travel expense report, I wanted to show you a copy of instructions for prepaid requests. Trying to find it. Let me get to it first. Okay. Let's see. Let me try sharing my screen. There it is. Can everyone see that?
We can see your desktop. I think you need to share the other monitor for the application.
Okay. Can you see
Oh.
that?
Yes, actually. We may need to zoom in just a little bit. because it seems a little distant on the screen right now.
Is it?
And it might just be the monitor that's being shared on, but if you, oh, good, because it should be fine.
All right, it's going one or the other.
Yeah, it's touchy.
How's that?
Maybe a hair more if you don't mind, Linda.
Hair more, okay. How's that?
That should be good. And we just so everybody knows, we're going to pass this out at the end of the meeting too. So
Yeah.
don't stress too
Can
much
you,
about it.
can you see the whole thing?
Yes, all the writing is visible now.
Okay. Okay, so Kimberly mentioned about the requisitions for travel. Of course, as soon as you know that someone is going to travel or go to a conference, you need to submit a travel requisition. And she mentioned that the commodity code would be 3TR. And when you use that commodity code, when you go to the item text, there's a template there that will help you walk you through talking about how much is registration, the meals, the flight, anything that you might need for that travel. So it helps you work through that so that you can put in a reasonable amount to be able to handle the expenses. And the best thing to do is to guess a little bit higher than it might be. So that's always a better idea. So that needs to be in first before anything can be done. Any reimbursement, any travel that needs to be done or done ahead of time, or registration, that RQ needs to be in and approved before anything can get paid out through it. And in order to get reimbursed ahead of the travel, like sometimes you might go ahead and put the registration on your own card. That's fine. You can get reimbursed for that. As soon as you do that and the PO is out there, you can get reimbursed for that. And that's through the prepaid travel email. This is the email address here, travel@noccccd.edu. And this is a format that I like individuals to use in requesting a prepaid travel. Just give me the information, who the check should be payable to, the address, the amount of the check, who is the employee that is traveling, the PO number, date of the conference, and when that check is needed. And you can just put as soon as possible for reimbursement. And the reimbursements are ones that I usually get out first, because we don't want the employee to be out any money for any kind of a travel ahead of time. So this can be done. If most cases, it's maybe a registration or a flight that you might have to book ahead of time. So you can get reimbursed for that ahead of time and through this format. And this will be sent to you by email so that you have it. Along with that, you just need to attach any kind of receipt that proves that you paid for it, for the flight, for the registration. If you want travel to pay for the registration direct, then you need to have a copy of maybe an invoice or something that shows how much it's going to cost, and something to send them when the check is issued so that they know who to apply it to. So that's the prepaid travel. I just wanted to give you an idea of that first. Let me get this out and go to the travel expense report. Now you can't see this, can you? Right?
Not right now.
Not right now, so I have to move it to my other screen.
If you go to the share screen button again, you
Okay.
can likely like end your share screen and then do it again and select the other application or the other desktop.
I don't know how to do that.
Oh, here, let me stop your sharing and then you can just reshare. So go ahead and hit the green share screen button at the bottom
Okay,
and then select the proper application or the proper desktop screen. And I know it's a little tricky.
I got it. Okay, I think I got it.
We see the Excel file.
Okay, well, I learned something new today.
I learned the hard way, so I'm glad I could help.
So here's a travel expense report example. The top part of it is self-explanatory, your name, the budget number that the purchase order is under, the PO number, where you work, and your banner ID. It's very important. Dates of travel, the event, and where it's being held. So when you fill this out, usually this is a good order for it. The first thing for a travel is your transportation and your registration. So the first day of the conference, you could put that on there. And it can be round trip. You don't need to put, one piece or another, unless you buy a one-way for some reason and you have two transportations or two flights. Then you could put one on the first going there and the other one on the last day coming back. Registration is usually paid ahead of time or front, so that's usually on the first line. If you drive there, then you would put your mileage here. And the drive would be from your work, where if it's a work day, then it would be from your work location to the conference. And then you put the going rate. The rate for right now is 0.625. And then you total that out. Or under other, that would be any kind of Uber you take from an airport. Of course, you need to keep those receipts. And if you have any incidentals, the incidental is a $5 fee that you can claim if you stay in a hotel. So these are things like maybe leaving a tip for the maid, getting a bottle of water or something like that. $5 is what you can put down for that. The meals are calculated per diem, and that's on our website. The per diem rates, they pretty much stay consistent. There's a high and a low. If you're in a city that's a high per diem, and that's on the website also, then you can claim a little bit higher. And there you have to look to make sure that the month is the month that you're traveling to, because it can change. It can be high at certain times, like when there's a lot of travel or a lot of tourists, and it can be lower at other times. So the per diems are something we've been using for a couple of years now. You don't have to keep your receipts of breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You just put down the per diem. And we base it off what is being provided through the conference. If the conference gives you free breakfast every morning, we expect you to be able to take advantage of that. There shouldn't be any reason for you to go out and get breakfast on your own. The only exception would be if what they're providing is not according to your dietary restrictions, we'll say. So if that is the case and you put down a breakfast as a per diem, but the conference agenda shows that you get a free breakfast, then make sure you put it down under the additional comments here. that you took a breakfast because they're not providing protein or whatever it is that you needed that day. So the breakfast, lunch, and dinners are handled that way. And then there's the $5 incidental expense. The lodging we usually put down on your last day because you're checking out. So it's a full amount for each of the nights that you're there. So all of that, when these are put in under this template, it's all added at the bottom and it adds up over on the sides. So it already has formulas in it so that you don't have to add that up for it, along with the mileage too. There's a formula in there. So it'll total it up. If you did get any prepaid through the district, like this is showing the registration was prepaid, not to the employee, but it was prepaid by the district ahead of time, then that would be deducted because it wasn't anything out of your pocket. Also, if you're reimbursed, maybe the transportation of the $255, then the formula would reduce it down to what you currently owe. Any additional explanations, like if somebody pays for something that you didn't pay for, like somebody picked up your hotel, a coworker or something like that, make sure you put that under the additional comments, because that individual will need to be paid versus you. And we wouldn't know that unless you put it under the additional comments. Also, if you're sharing a hotel with someone and we're seeing, oh, you're there 3 days, but there's no lodging, write down that the hotel was shared by the other employee and that it was claimed they paid for it instead of you. So that helps us, just help us see exactly what happens so that we don't have any questions later. And then it just asks you to initial it, claiming that you've got a driver's license and auto insurance. Now, these, of course, need to be signed by yourself, and then the head division signature or your manager needs to sign it. The president does not need to sign it. What we do is, once this is filled out, you sign it and your manager signs it, it gets sent to your budget office. So at Fullerton, it gets sent to that business, your business office at Fullerton College, full call. For Cypress, it gets sent over to Michelle Bandeck, and she audits it. So it goes through an auditing process. They double check everything, make sure you have the receipts attached, the agendas attached, things like that. And then they send it on to accounts payable to get paid. Now it depends on whether it gets held up somewhere for a signature, but it takes less than 2 weeks to get this issued. It depends on how much or how many people have been traveling, the workload or anything, but I would say an average of 2 weeks at the most, but it shouldn't take that long even with that. So that's pretty much the travel expense report. Are there any questions? Nope. Okay, that's good.
Well, thank you, Linda. I really appreciate it. Kimberly, as always, I love when both of you run through these with us. Josh, Carolina, if you guys have any questions last minute about other topics, please let us know. And if not, thank you guys for coming. Thank you, Kimberly. Thank you, Linda. I will go ahead and send the requisite documents out to you, Josh, Carolina, so you guys can have them to reflect upon. If any colleagues ask about these trainings, we're going to start scheduling again for spring soon. So I will work with the team to make that happen. We'll get the flyer out there, get it on everyone's calendars and in Advantage. So If there are ever any questions related to Advantage or any kind of professional development or training, please email me or the professional development inbox. And if there's nothing else, I hope everyone has a good long holiday. And hopefully we will all feel rested and recharged on Monday morning.
Okay, thank you.